Hello there, dear YouTubers. My name is King1993, and today is another day of me trying to explain another Super Mecha Champion Mecha. And today's Mecha is called Skylark. Okay, so without further ado, let's get started. Now, you guys can probably see that I was once a pro Skylark player. Otherwise, to get level 32 is actually not that much easy. Definitely. So from that point of perspective, obviously I'll try my best to give you guys a proper demonstration of how to use this mecha. Now, it is written here, this mecha is a hit and run type of mecha and a continuous shooting type of mecha. I totally agree with this because of its low reload rate. Okay, but that's not the main point. Let's talk about it in the battleground. So first of all, this is the primary weapon. This is the secondary weapon, which deal damage but also repairs your mecha. This one is a normal jump, and this one is basically tactical gliding, something like that. I do not know why air. Like, what were the developer thinking? Like, they could have written a tactical gliding or tactical fast running, whatever it is. Anyway, it is a free mecha. You do not need any coins to get it. It is a free mecha. You can use it just by opening an account, and you can able to use that mecha like free or free. So let's go to the training ground to actually talk about that. So first of all, to understand the main purpose of this mecha is more of healing and attack both at the same time. It is more of a tactical healing type of mecha. So obviously it is also considered as a support type of mecha, but not many people use this mecha for support purpose. They use it for DPS purpose. Do not bend the purpose of a mecha. If you bend the purpose of a mecha, what happens is you will get destroyed. So for people who use this mecha for DPS purpose, to understand that this mecha is more of a healing type of mecha, and using this mecha's ability properly will help your teammate win the battle a lot faster. Okay, now first of all, I used to use this mecha but a lot back when I do not know the many of the mechanics thing. But once I understood the mechanic, I realized that I should not use this mecha because the problem with this mecha is similar to Firefox. It has only horizontal, what should I call it, horizontal superiority and not vertical superiority. So basically speaking, vertical superiority is an indication of when the mecha is able to fly in the sky. But if it cannot fly in the sky, then what will happen is mecha that are on the higher platform can easily get this mecha very easily. So that's the main problem. Okay. Anyway, let's talk about the modules. So as I said, this mecha is more of a healing type of mecha. So let's talk from that point of perspective. Okay. So obviously the secondary weapon is the one that actually causes the healing. So if the secondary weapon is the one that actually causes the healing, what you definitely need is to increase the size of the secondary weapon. So as written here, the width of the secondary weapon hand increases by 30% and increases damage by 12%. So this damage, okay, good, but another 30% of size increase is also good. Okay, so let me give you a demonstration of what is happening. Okay, so as you see, whatever it was, now let's wait for a few seconds here. And now let's try again. Yeah, so it was definitely bigger. So this is an indication of why you should be using Swan Fight instead of Talon, because even though your primary weapon is gonna get more damage, there are other methods by which you can basically increase the overall damage output of this mecha. I'll talk about that later. Okay, now this is the defense module. When it comes to the defense module, if you are playing with a team, then use the billowing crane because it will be useful in both battle royale and team deathmatch, because it will basically heal your teammates durability. So from that point of perspective, obviously billowing crane is a very good example of when you should be using this should only be used when you are in a team match. Okay, but when you are playing alone, there is no point in having this. When you are playing alone, you will be using eagle eyes. Okay, basically eagle eyes, what it does is when you hit a certain mecha, they become red, and the reason they become red is because you can now see them behind a certain object. So let me try again. See, you can now see the location of that mecha. Okay, so this is more important in a solo match than in a team match. Okay, So it is up to you when you use this. But remember, uh, Eagle Eye for solo and Billowing Crane for team. Okay. Now let's talk about the propulsion module. So when it comes to the propulsion module, there is Light Feather and there is uh, Oriole Strike. Okay. Aerial Strike. Uh, okay, I do not know how to say this anyway. So Light Feather basically increases the movement speed for 20%, whereas Oriole, okay, Oriole, let's say Oriole. Oriole Strike is more of a 25% of more gliding speed and gliding and acceleration duration. Okay, so if you want to glide for a longer period of time, then obviously Oriole Strike is a best option. Now, for me, I suggest that you stick with this one if you are in a battle royale, because in a battle royale, duration is more important than speed, whereas in team deathmatch, speed is more important than duration. Okay, if your duration runs out, but if your speed is lower in team deathmatch, obviously this is bad. So again, same issue here, that this one is for uh, what should I call it, team deathmatch, and this one is for battle royale. Okay, now the primary core, sorry, okay, core, okay, core skill, okay, or core module 1. So when it comes to core module 1, it is written here, the secondary weapon hunt returns horizontally and deal damage. Okay, so what it basically means that if you want to do double the amount of damage, then use swift cut. Okay, or if you want to lower the secondary weapon duration, then obviously go for this one. Now again, there is a same issue here. If you are in a team deathmatch, okay, let me load the volume even better. So if you are in a team deathmatch, okay, so if you are in a team deathmatch, I suggest that you use this swift cut. Okay, oh sorry, I'm forgetting something. If you are in a team deathmatch, use the Falcon Fury, because what happens is you will be able to use the secondary attack a lot more often. But if you are in a battle royale situation, then using this shift cut is gonna be more important, because you'll be doing more damage. Okay, so there is a lot of this thing. So from that point of perspective, I can say that this mecha's module is balanced in such a way that you can basically use it in many different situations, but to understand when to use what modules at what place. Okay, so that's basically for that. Now let's talk about the long range damage. So when it comes to the long range damage, as you can probably see here, if I were to shoot, the accuracy rate is lower than 70%. So because the accuracy rate is lower than 70%, I suggest that you do not use this mecha in long range battle. Okay, now what do I mean by 70%? Well, as you can see here, when I am shooting the enemy mecha are losing health but are extremely small in category. So obviously do not use this mecha in long range battle. Okay, but what happens when you use the secondary weapon? When you use the secondary weapon can actually go up to 300 meters. There is no problem with that. So again, let me try it again. It can do damage more than 300 meters away. It can do double the amount of damage because I have made it so. Okay, now let's talk about the mid range. Now in the mid range, okay, so what is my conclusion in the long range? In the long range, if you just want to give a warning shot to the enemy, then using the secondary weapon is more useful than using the primary one. But when it comes to the mechas that are basically in the middle of the battle, okay, middle of the field, then using the secondary weapon as well as the primary weapon, both of them are gonna be very good example. But also at the same time, what you should be doing is to using the tactical skill and move left and right and shoot, because in doing so what will happen is the enemy mecha, even if they were to shoot at you, at least you will be able to dodge their attack. Okay, now as you move at close range, the thing that you must need to maintain is mobility. Okay, so in order to maintain mobility, obviously use the tactical and then continuously move left and right. The question remains is, by doing so what will happen is you are basically trying your best to avoid the enemy's attack. Okay, so that's basically it for this mecha in close range, mid range and long range. Okay, in long range, this mecha's primary attack is not a good warning shot, but the secondary attack is a good warning shot. Okay, but when it comes to the mid range and short range, this mecha is a very good mecha. Okay, not the best, very good. Now let's talk about its ability to do sneak attack on the enemy mechas. Now the sneak attack of this mecha is actually pretty simple. If you can see the enemy, you will be able to shoot the enemy. If you cannot see the enemy, you can't, because the placement of these mechas, what should I call it, weapon is on the right side. You can basically shoot the enemy mecha just by seeing them. Okay, obviously you have to be careful. First of all, to understand, you have to see the mecha in order to shoot them. See, if you shoot the mecha, once you see them, what will happen is this line barrier, okay, this line barrier here is gonna not interrupt you. Otherwise, if you shoot in a manner that is basically just behind the wall, then what will happen is the wall is gonna get into the wall is gonna block your attack. Okay, so that is sneak attack 1. Now sneak attack 2 is when you see the enemy behind a certain object, you can basically see them, but they do not have the idea of where you are. You can just jump and use a secondary weapon and get down, and by doing so you will be doing double the amount of damage. Okay, now is there any sneak attack 3? Now this is the only mecha that it cannot do the sneak attack 3 by going to a higher platform, because this mecha's ability to go to higher platform is actually not good. Okay, then the question remains, what about sneak attack 4? Sneak attack 4 is basically like standing in a higher platform and seeing whether you are actually capable of hitting the enemy mecha or not. Now this is a little bit problematic. Okay, and why is that? Well, because this mecha's ability to do AU damage is actually none, and because of that reason, if you even if you were to on a higher platform and you know that there is a mecha below you, you cannot actually shoot them. Okay, oh, I guess I am wrong. You can shoot them, but you have to be extremely near them in order to shoot them. Okay, so there is AoE damage. Okay, this part I actually didn't know. Despite using this mecha for such a long period of time, I still didn't know. Okay, the sneak attack 4 actually worked. You can basically shoot the enemy mecha without even seeing them. Now let's talk about each tactical skill. So each tactical skill is, okay, let me load the volume. Okay, so let's talk about each tactical skill. So the tactical skill of this mecha is made in such a way that it allows this mecha to actually move fast. Okay, but for a short period of time. So while you are moving in this manner, you can actually use the both primary and the secondary weapon while you are doing so. Okay, but the only problem with this tactical skill is, unlike many of the other mechas in this game, which can actually go up to higher platform, this mecha itself cannot go to higher platform. Okay, it needs the help of trampoline to actually go to the higher platform. A good example would be like, let's say that I need to get away from the battlefield. So in order for me to actually get away from the battlefield, certainly, let's say to a higher platform, I must need to use the tactical skill and then hope I can go there. But even by doing so, I was unable to go up. Okay, now if that is the case, the question remains is, okay, can this mecha's tactical skill work enough just for me to escape the battlefield? Yes, it does. For that, let's say suddenly the enemy is attacking me, I can use the tactical and then jump. Okay, but even after this use, the question remains is, why is it slow? Like, why is it as fast as Pulsar when it uses its tactical skill. I do not know. Maybe this is an early generation mecha, and because of this early generation mecha use, this is what is basically happening. That this mecha is unable to use its ability as efficiently as possible. Okay. Now, what about this mecha's ability to survive in underwater battle? Now, this mecha's ability to survive in underwater battle is obviously not good because uh, let me give you an example. Okay, let's say I am below here and suddenly the map is closing and I need to go to another land, but I need to cross the body of water. Can I do so? Let's see. I can definitely jump once, but after jumping once, I will immediately go down. So this is an indication that this mecha cannot stay in the air for a long period of time. Other than that, what about its ability to actually run away, like Ranger? Well, unlike Ranger, its ability to run away is similar to that of, let's say, walking for other mechas. So from that point of perspective, running away is also not going to be efficient. So basically saying is that this mecha's ability to survive in underwater battle is almost non-existent. Okay, so that's the thing that once you are becoming a good player in a certain battle using lots of the other mechas in this game, you will eventually realize that if your mecha is unable to go to a higher platform as easily as, let's say, that Doomlight has gotten, obviously you are gonna fall into a disadvantage and eventually you will be losing most of the fight. Okay, so that's the main reason why I gave up on this mecha after realizing that not being able to go to higher platform is gonna be a huge problem in the game. Okay, so anyway, let's go to the lobby to actually talk about its module and its pilot mecha skill. Now, when it comes to the mods, okay, the question remains is, okay, which are the best mods for this mecha? I think I lowered the volume way too low because someone was actually using the mic and there is no way to block mic. Okay, so what are the best mods for this mecha? So the best mods for this mecha based on its ability, I would give this mecha a lot of what should I call it? Rate of fire because it has a large quantity of bullets as it has a very good reload rate. So giving it rate of fire is gonna be more important here. So from that point of perspective, let's say I would give one rate of fire. Okay, another rate of fire should be somewhere around here. Two rate of fire and another rate of fire. Okay, so by doing so, what will happen is the overall of the uh, rate of fire is gonna increase by 3.6%. Okay, now you might be thinking, is this good enough? No, this is actually not good enough. Okay, so the question remains, if that is actually not good enough, then what can we give? We have no choice but to give it more reload rate. Why would I give this more reload rate? That is the question, right? Well, here's the thing. If you do math, you know that 3% is not a large number, whereas 12% is a large number. If 12% is a large number, it is better to give it something like that. So obviously, from that point of perspective, giving it more reload rate is a lot better than giving it more rate of fire. Now, obviously, this mecha's main benefit is its ability to repair itself. So we have to give this mecha more repair ability. So one life drain, and then using, okay, there should be at least two life drain, I think. Okay, here it is, another life drain. Okay, so I have given this mecha two life drain. In doing so, you will be getting about a maximum of 2.4% of life drain. And this life drain is gonna happen every time you use a certain amount of attack on the enemy. It will basically heal your mecha automatically. So just by attacking the enemy mecha, it is gonna heal its durability. And obviously the secondary weapon also exists. So if you use the secondary weapon a lot more, you'll be getting a lot more of durability healing. Okay. Now, in case if you just want to put a little bit more something here, I suggest that you put at least one of the combat skill recovery. Okay. So this is basically what it is gonna look like when you use this Mecha's mods capability. Now, it is not actually the best option. Why am I saying this is not the best option? Because what I have given here is more of a support type of output. Okay, like this two is for healing, and this healing can be used especially when you are in a team fight, because every time you shoot the enemy, the friendly mecha near you, they are gonna get healed. Okay, but also this mecha is not meant for DPS purpose, so that is the main reason why its mods are basically half-assed as this. Okay, now let's talk about it is Becca's best pilot capability. First of all, let's talk about this one, which is called Ning, and it has high infrastructure. Now the problem with this one is it just basically increases the durability but doesn't maintain it. So from that point of perspective, this is not a good one. Now this is a good or the best one because having more tactical skill will allow Skylark to be able to move as fast as possible from one place to another, obviously horizontally, not vertically, so that it can basically stops the enemy attack while it is moving. Okay, now this one is not gonna work that much, so even if you were to give this, it is not gonna work. This one is a best one if you want to maintain 10% of max shield durability instead of normal durability. This one is best for auto repairing without any item. Not good. Okay, this one doesn't work. This one works, but the only problem is it has a movement speed of 10% for 3 seconds. So if this were to be like 7 seconds, I would have still applied this ability. This is the same as the capabilities, so nothing to say here. And this one is the best if you want to use a large quantity of shield recovery. Now, because I have already told you that Skylark is most of a mid-range and short-range mecha, so if you were to be fighting an enemy mecha that is 150 meters away, then obviously your accuracy of attack is not going to be that much high. So from that point of perspective, giving this to Skylark is not the best option. Now, because Skylark already has the lowest reload rate as much as possible, giving this to Skylark is obviously gonna make Skylark shoot on a continuous manner. It is gonna be the most useful in team deathmatch, but not in battle royale. This one is good, but not the best because you need recovery item. Otherwise, this 15% extra recovery will not work. This one is good if you are at the end part of the team deathmatch, but at the beginning it is not going to work. Similar to this, even if you were to apply this, it is going to work at the beginning of the match, but not at the end part of the match where the enemy mechas are very nearby. This is the best one if you use the secondary weapon on any place. Okay, it doesn't matter. What happens is the primary weapon will become 22% more powerful for 7 seconds. So obviously from that perspective, this is actually the best overall damage output out of all of the other. This one not gonna work all the time, especially this 20 meters one. There is a possibility of being able to use the 8 meters one a lot more often, but this 20-meter one, which is gonna increase the damage by 7.2%, is not gonna work all the time. Now this one is gonna work if you use the secondary attack, but here's the problem. Every time you need to use a secondary attack, this thing will only work every once in 4.5 seconds. So yeah, that is actually a huge time difference. So yeah, this is not the best. So if I were to give a short demonstration of which one is the best, then here it comes in this following manner. A ROM ability is good. Okay, why is that? Because ROM will basically give more tactical skill recovery. Okay, Yoris is the sorry, this one is the best. This one is the best if you want more durability recovery without any item. This one is the best if you want any type of shield durability recovery. Norma is the best if you want more overall damage output. Even is the best because if you want to use more of its shield durability to turn into sorry, if you want more of its normal durability to turn into shield durability. And Cyrus is best if you want more uh not more, let's say even less reloading time. So yeah, these are the best one. 1 2 3 4 5 and 6. So that is basically how this mecha works, Skylark. So the problem with Skylark is it is a beginner's mecha, and if you continuously use it on mecha that can basically jump over a building, obviously those mechas will be able to destroy you a lot more easier than Skylark being able to destroy those mecha. Okay. So if you find this video useful, then please give a like and subscribe and click the bell notification icons to get more of this type of topic on a regular basis. Thank you and see you again next time.